Make way, motherfucker. For who? Bayway, motherfucker. This band's so good. If you haven't checked them out, you need to do so right now before you listen to this podcast. This is going to be a nice, short, and sweet intro. I just want to thank Jay from the band. He's the vocalist for taking the time out of his day to do this. We all got busy lives and shit, so it's cool to get him on, talk a little bit about the band, a little about his personal background and all that shit. You know, growing up in the New Jersey hardcore scene. Nothing but good things to say. It was a great conversation. He's a cool ass dude, and at the very least, if you haven't listened to them, you go check out a song if you like it. They just put out a live recording of a show they did back in April at the House of Independence. So you can buy that. It's on RTF and Daze Records. They both got different varieties. You can go back and listen to their shit on Spotify. They have a demo and an EP or whatever the fuck you want to call it, like 3-4 songs each. They definitely 100% New Jersey hardcore, and you can't ask for nothing else. If you say, give me a band that is 100% New Jersey, this is what you're going to get. So, peep them. You listen to the Newport sessions. I'm sure you've seen it online. It's the cassette picture that's been floating around. It looks like a pack of Newports and says Bayway on it. That's it. That's all I got to say. Just go find this band, support them. I don't know. They had some leftover merch from a show they did. A release show. They had some shit. I don't know if it's all gone. If it's not, go scoop that up. Support these guys. They are coming out swinging. They ain't going nowhere. It was a good conversation. I'm glad I talked to him. We very relatable. So it's always good when a conversation can go as smooth as it can. I'm still living high off fucking Tied Down, man. I think about that shit every day. I think about Tied Down Fest every day. I can't wait until next year to see what they got. I can't wait till October, Cold as Life. I can't wait for fucking Fury of Fives coming in November. That's 6 months away, 5 months away, but shit, you can wish, right? You can dream. You got Hoods coming in August. Got shit going on in July. Shit going on, I don't know, probably next week. It's so hard to keep up these days. I'm not going to start looking through flyers for you guys, but go ahead and skip this shit. Get right into the interview or conversation. I couldn't have asked for a better time. I'll tell you right now, they were supposed to come here in September, but it fell through with them. We're going to make it happen. If they don't do it, I'm going to fucking do it. Or somebody else is going to do it. Let's do it. Let's get these guys out here. Let's get them moving. Everybody needs to know. Spread the Bayway gospel. And I don't buy their shit if you can. Support them. I love hardcore. I love you. But I don't love you enough to not punch you in the face during a Bayway song. No, I'm playing. Thanks again. And I'll talk to you guys later. Hey, I wore this hat because to represent the East Coast today, you know?
Appreciate that. Thank you.
I love Bulldoze, man. One of my favorite fucking bands. So
how could you not?
They're just like, I don't know. There's something about them. They're so special. They start like the beatdown thing, you know, in my opinion, you know, one of the originators of beatdown, you know. So
they started it all. Look what they did.
Fucking ruined hardcore.
They created all this ignorance. Nah, I love them for it. I love them for it.
Yeah, shit. So I mean, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
I've been listening to you guys for a while now. I'll be honest, I didn't find out about you guys till you did those Newport sessions and like Daze put the thing out. Then I just went on I went back and seen your other little EP or demo, whatever you want to call it, and it's just all fucking super good, man. You guys are killing it, man.
I was gonna ask you how you found out about it, but I should have figured it was Daze. You know? Yeah,
yeah. You know, whenever Lumpy puts something out, man, it goes fucking worldwide, and it kind of gives everybody a boost, you know.
Yeah, I love him for it. He's literally what a crazy like experience just to like deal with him, and like I've dealt with other labels in the past, and like just like a totally different vibe with this
Mhm.
cat. You know what I mean? He's just like chill, laid back, just loves music, always trying to bullshit about like oh like he'll hit me with like yo what's your favorite band from this era, and I'm like yo that like that's the shit that I fuck with, you know what I mean, like that's the shit I really really fuck with. So it's been great working with him, and it's been an absolute pleasure. We got a lot more shit planned and on the way, so it's gonna be good.
Good, man. I'm looking forward to it all. Well, let me ask you this: with Bayway and everything, you seem like an older cat. You know, not too old, but you look older. Was there anything you said you worked with record labels before this? Oh, were you in any other bands I should know about? Like, you don't look familiar to me, so I don't know.
I was in a band called Years Spent Cold.
Oh, you definitely know that band, yeah.
For a number of years. Other than that, like I've been in like death metal bands, offshoot bands or whatever. I've been in this shit since I've been 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna bore you with all 42 bands that I've been in, but most well-known band probably Years Spent Cold, other than Bayway.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I dealt with some, I dealt with some of that shit in the past, and like I dealt with my last band. There was like, weird independent label stuff, and it's just like some people pay attention to you, some people don't. I'm not knocking anybody, but it's just like working with Daze has definitely been different. Working with RTF, I've worked with Pat in the past, but like, like it's just different. It's just different. It's like instead of it feeling so business, you know what I mean? Like it's more of a friendship. It's definitely more of what I think hardcore is supposed to be. So that to me is why I fuck with it, why I truly fuck with it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, man. Like I said, Days is just, same with like Triple B and fucking Street to Hate and all those record labels. Like they really do it just for the fucking fun of it. And
Yeah.
and it's so good. Like a lot of it, started so little and now it's blown up and they can put on for everybody. And it's still just because they love it so much. And
But
that's
you
really
could
good
tell, you could tell, you know what I mean? Like you could tell that they love it. Like, they're at the fest, they're in there, they're in the crowd, they're just as hyped about the bands that they're putting out as you are. You know what I mean? Like that's the best part. That's the best part for me.
Yeah, I love it, man. Fuck yeah. So a little bit about yourself, man. How'd you get into the whole hardcore shit? You said you're about 13. Like, who were you running with back in the day? Probably some
Yo,
dangerous
back in the day, back in the day, I was running with 4 new metal kids hard. You know what I mean? We were just like
Okay.
we were getting our start, and truth be told, man, I was so blessed because there was a studio around us where we used to go to rehearse, and I just got mixed up and involved with like all these guys that were just like in it. You know what I mean? It was Agents of Man, it was
Hell
Train of
yeah.
Thought originally, and then it was New Jersey Bloodline and E-Town. And these are the guys that like I just kind of came in, like I stumbled upon the shit by accident. I didn't know it existed. I just was like, yo, where should we rehearse? We went there, and the next thing you know, I'm like rubbing elbows with all these dudes, and they were just the biggest names in it, like the biggest names in New Jersey hardcore still are. You know what I mean? So it's like I was blessed. Reek from NJ Bloodline was like, look, you got to come out to these shows. Like he started putting me on to like bands and like coming to shows. And like once that happened, it was just like I was off and running. Like I saw Shattered Realm as a kid, and I was just like, well, I know what I like. You know what I mean? Like,
Hell yeah.
this is exactly what I'm into. So like I kept going out, I kept being involved, and like it blossomed into bigger stuff. Like over here we had Club Chrome, we had Birch Hill, we had Eminem Hall, we had like these spots that were like real like solid spots for bands to come through. And we were blessed. I mean, it was just like it's a great aggressive scene. New Jersey always has been. And it's like, we feel like we're kind of in the shadow of the rotten apple in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Like New York is like, New York is just kind of like overlooking North Jersey. So it's like we always try to keep our shit on point and like try to, you got a lot to live up to, and there's big bands like, Fury of 5, NJ Bloodline, E-Town is like a lot to live up to for me. So that's how I got my start. And Reek NJ Bloodline, that's may he rest in peace. He put me on to like a lot of shit and had me come out to these shows, and that was it. I was hooked. I was looking for that family, and I found it. And that was the end for me, man. I was fucking hooked.
That's it, man. Yo. So what was that for late 90s then? Like mid 90s? I don't know.
We're like, this is like early 2000s.
Oh, okay.
2000s.
Yeah. Okay. Damn. Yeah. I started getting into shows like 03, 04, but I was still going to like like these street punk shows and shit like that. But then I
Yeah,
found, whatever. It all led from like Bleeding Through. Then he finally Shattered Realm, like you said, and Death
yeah,
Before Dishonor and all that
yeah,
crazy shit. Like like, and I was aware about Cold as Life and shit here, but
yeah,
I wasn't like fully educated, so that
yeah,
didn't like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I
That's the
learned
best
quick
part
though,
though, is that's the best part I think about like about hardcore though, is that like, it's very much about the roots of hardcore. So like once you get into it and you start going to the shows, getting involved in the scene, people start putting you on like, yo, have you ever heard this? Have you ever heard that? Did you ever listen to this band? And then the next thing you know, you're on like this 1989 hardcore kick, you know what I mean? And you're finding out about all these bands for the first time. And it's like, it's timeless, it's like, Cro-Mags it's still hard. I mean, my wife just bought it on vinyl. It's still hard. We're still listening to it. You know what I mean? It's like it's still just as good now than it was, as it was when it came out. So I feel like that's the coolest part about hardcore, is that like it really is timeless.
Yeah,
It really is.
and it can keep you feeling young too. Like you don't feel like an old person when you go to like a hardcore show. You still feel like when you started going 16, 17, 18, like you still get really, the thrill today. At least I do,
I just saw Bulldoze. They played in Kenilworth. Right in Union County, which was crazy for me. And yeah, I mean, like a lot of people had said to me, like I got a bunch of texts after the show, like, yo, during the Bulldoze set, you had a smile from ear to ear. I felt like a child, bro. I was up there. I was so happy to just like watch them play again. You know what I mean? Just to see them play, do those songs. And like, it's just the feeling you can't describe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It really just makes you so pumped. Like, and that's why I keep going, man. The adrenaline is still there. The love for it is still there.
It is, man. Yeah, I agree 100%. Like, I went all the way out to Brooklyn just to catch when they did the B&B Ball. Like, I was like, I don't know how long this shit's gonna last for, man. I gotta
see it while it's here, right? You gotta see it while it's here.
Yeah.
I'm blessed. I mean, our next show is actually with Bulldoze and Shadow Realm down in Philly with Freight Train. Like, it's just like, the level, like the happiness that I have to be able to play with these bands. Like, I played with Bulldoze back in 2003 as a kid. It was like Bulldoze Full Blown Chaos.
Oh shit. And, that's a good one.
To be able to do it again in in another band, and to be able to like just have that opportunity to do it now, you know what I mean, in 2023 after doing it in 2003. That's cool as shit to me. That's just cool as shit.
Fuck yeah.
That's what it's about. It's fucking awesome.
Something cool. Let me ask you this, because when I think of New Jersey, I think of like Atlantic City and the shore and all that type of shit. When you said Kenilworth and whatever county you said, how close is that? Like is it like in the middle of New Jersey? I don't know where that is.
Right where I came up, I was born in Elizabeth, and I lived in Elizabeth E-town, for most of my life. Yeah, I mean that's it. That's it. Yeah. That's that E-town concrete. But we were, I mean, literally a stone's throw from New York. I mean, I could throw a rock at Staten Island.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I'm right there. Most of the shows that I went to, like once I started really getting getting into Manhattan for a show, when you live in North Jersey, is like, it should be about 15 minutes, but traffic is fucked up. So it's always longer than that. But like if they're on a perfect day, it's like 15 minutes, 20 minutes to get into Manhattan, like to get into the tunnel and get over there. Right. So like, that's where I'm from. And there's that portion of New Jersey. Like for me to get to the shore, like Atlantic City is like almost 2 hours.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Yeah, it takes a minute to get down there for me.
Yeah, so, I wasn't sure. Like I said,
the shore itself, the shoreline, Jersey is kind of weird because like the way that it's like the way that it's shaped, you know what I mean? Like we have like a lot of shoreline. So I could get to the beach in like 25 minutes, but like it's like a different beach. It's not the beach you picture in your head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly,
it's like the beach off the highway.
With the needles in it, you know.
Right. It's like the, if you know beach is where it is really what it is. And then there's like seaside and there's places like that, which is like it's like an hour from me, to get down that way.
What's up, man?
But yeah, everybody always thinks about the shore. They think about Jersey Shore, like the Guidos. And
exactly.
Shit, which,
yeah, that's. I don't think.
I mean, it is what it is, man. I'm a Jersey Shore Guido through and through. I spent my summers at the shore. I think most of us did, Cool so, fuck, but I came up in northern Jersey and in Elizabeth. Union County is where I've spent my whole life pretty much, you know what I mean, except for a small stint. So it's a different type of place, I'll tell you that. Looks a hell of a lot like Queens and Brooklyn if you ever been there.
Oh yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. I've been in New York a couple times. The first time I drove, I went to that first Madball show in the park when they did it with Wisdom and Chains and Murphy's Law.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
2021. And I don't know, like you mentioned that fucking Jersey Tunnel. Is that the Holland Tunnel? That's a tunnel I went through when I got there.
That's the Holland Tunnel. Yeah, the Holland Tunnel.
Motherfucker, dude. I was like, this is
no
crazy.
doubt, no doubt. Yeah, trying to go through the Holland Tunnel can be a whole fucking pain in the balls.
Wild, like like Detroit's kind of fucked up, like traffic wise and shit. But I knew I was getting like an hour and a half, like closer to New York, and then the fucking traffic just picks up. I know a lot of out of towners will commute back and forth. They'll live like 2 hours away, but still go to New York City every fucking day.
No
and
doubt.
It's just piling up. There. Oh yeah, take this bridge. Oh wait, no, it's fucked up. So go back to the George Washington. I'm like, I need to go somewhere, man.
Oh yeah, driving over here is fucked up for sure for a lot of people. Like I think one of the funniest things when you get into Central Jersey, there's no left turns. You can't make a left. You got to take a jug handle. So you got to make all your left turns from the right side in Central Jersey. So that always fucks people up.
Okay.
I remember when I went to Florida, you could just turn wherever the fuck you wanted. You could turn. You know what I mean? Like it was crazy. I was like, yo, this is a lawless land.
Lawless. Yeah. No fucking rules. Yeah.
Yeah. You could just do whatever the fuck you wanted out there. I was like, damn, this is wild as hell.
And what if it's similar to what we got in Michigan? We call it a Michigan left. It's like where you have to like make a right and then do like a turnaround to go left.
Yeah, it's basically essentially you taking like an off ramp.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? To another light, and then you're going left like that.
And make it difficult. What the fuck?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's like a great way to create more traffic.
yeah. Then you get out of towners, they have no idea what the fuck's going on.
100%. Motherfuckers is like, yo, I'm just trying to turn left. It's like, not here. Not here.
You're stuck at 20 fucking lights. Yeah.
You're gonna get flipped off and screamed at.
Yeah. So you're not a one-man band. Who else is in your band? Anybody else who has been in any other notable projects or anything? Then give them some shout outs to people.
My boy Chris played bass in Years Spent Cold for a bunch of times. I would say. I don't know if he was ever officially in the band, but he was officially in the band as far as I was concerned because he played a ton of shit with us. They were in another band. Are you familiar with Mongoloids?
Fuck yeah.
Okay, so the first Mongoloid split was This Means Everything and Mongoloids. So one half of that split is actually most of the guys that's in my band. They were in This Means Everything. So if you shout out This Means Everything, shout out the Mongoloids, shout out Greg. That was their other band that they were in. That was their big, I guess the biggest project that they were involved in.
Nice, man. Shit,
but yeah, we all been at it for a long time, man. I've been playing with these dudes since it's going on like 20 years now. So it's crazy.
Damn, crazy. Bro. So how'd you guys come up with like your style of music? Like according to hardcore these days, like I wouldn't necessarily lump you guys in with like any particular beat down or anything. I'd consider it more closer like a hip hop. Like I don't want to say E-Town because it's not E-Town, but you got the hip hop vibes to it, but it's still heavy as fuck. Some heavy breakdowns, you got the fast parts, and
I think it's mainly just a product of its environment. Mm-hmm. Like coming up, this is always the music that we wanted to make, but like things just took us elsewhere. It was like, we're doing this right now, or we're doing that right now, we're doing this right now. And then kind of like after the pandemic, we were like, we just want to make music like when we were kids, like we wanted to make music that like just gave us that same feeling. Like, how do you play like a bulldoze beatdown part have like the punk aspect of NJ Bloodline, but also do hip hop stuff over at like E-Town, you know, and that's kind of like I think what made the band like that, you know, like a lot of Jersey bands like Fury and bands like that, they weren't afraid to mix hip hop, you know, with hardcore, with metal elements. So I think that's really just what it was. We were just like, you know, we wrote a demo, and like on the demo, it was kind of like, we're not going to have any limits to what we're doing. I don't want it to sound like this or that or this or that. It was just like, let's do the demo. Let's try to write a record that makes us happy, that reminds us of being a kid, gives us that same feeling of when we were coming up in the scene. And then it was kind of like, as I went to go do the vocals, it was like, I can't really rap on a song, can I? And then it was like, well, maybe I can. You know what I mean? Like, can I really start a song? Like, make way, motherfucker. Like, and then it just was like, it was kind of like, it just kept evolving from there. You know what I mean? And then you see it on the Newport tape. It's like, we really dove into it. It's like, we went from like kind of trying to figure out our sound on the demo to like, yo, we're going to do more hip hop influence shit. And we're going to do that. You know, it's working. It feels good. And it's just like, it's what we've always liked, you know, it's what we've always liked. So it's a product of its environment. It's Union County through and through for sure.
Yeah, man, it hits hard. And for anybody who fucking doesn't know that somehow they found this podcast and they're listening and haven't listened to you, shut it off. Go fucking listen to it.
I appreciate that.
Yo, man, it's so good. Like, it's definitely in my daily rotation. Ever since I found you, I'm like, what the fuck? And you know what really caught my eye was, you know how it's like a box of Newports, man, because I used to smoke Newports. So it just hit me perfectly. I was like, that's the fucking best cassette tape fucking whatever I've ever seen in my life. And
it's just like pure grade Jersey ignorance.
Just
you know
garbage.
I mean? It's just like, yeah, it's like, you know, we had the conversation about what we were going to do art wise. And Pat RTF came up with the art concept of doing the Newport. And it was just like, it just fits the band's vibe so much. I mean, like, that's literally like, if you knew us like back in our like younger years, it was just like 40s and Newports and blunts. And you know what I mean? Not much has really changed other than the fact that, like, you know, I think we're smoking joints now, you know? I think that's what shit, you know what I mean?
The weed tastes better, you know?
wait, right. We got vape pens now, you know what I'm saying? Like shit has evolved, but yeah, like that's why I cut that promo like on the beginning of the record. It's like, you know, let me get a pack of Newports and a Dutch. Is like, I mean, a million times I said that in my life. It's like, it was really just to make them boys laugh. Like, because I used to pull up to the gas station like, yo, let me get a Dutch. There was $1 for a Dutch back then. You know what I'm saying? So you go out, it was $21. You know, you get that 20 bag, you get that Dutch.
There you go.
And, you know, day was beginning.
The easy days, man.
You know what I'm saying? No doubt.
So let me ask you this: the Newport hundreds or shorts? What are you smoking?
I think, you know, honestly, I think everybody had the hundreds mainly because we was cutting each other down or
share them a little longer.
Yeah, 100%. So the longer they were, the better, the longer they lasted. But
you gotta share it with somebody anyway.
Newport hundreds, like, it was I think what it was for me. I started off with the Marlboro Red because that's what we were stealing from my boy's mother.
Hey, man.
You know, and then once I got the taste for the Newport, it was, you know, we used to say it's Newport, not Subport, because everybody used to try to, you know, everybody's trying to grind me, get one off you.
Yeah.
Let me get a Newport. Let me get a port.
That's good. There you go.
It's Newport, not Subport.
That's a teenage shit. I love it.
100%. 100%. Smoking at the gazebo, like, you know what I
mean? yeah. It'd be funny. Like 2 or 3 of us would go in on a pack of cigarettes back in the day and get like sometimes you get like 2 for $15 like sacks of weed and shit. Have to go down to the hood, you know, possibly get fucking ran if you didn't go to the right person and shit. Like,
we used to. There was one Chinese spot that used to hook us up. They had bomb ass Chinese food and they also sold cigarettes. And we would walk. I'm talking like it was like way out of the way, but we would go over there and they would sell us those Newport hundreds. They had them and they hooked us up, man. Shout out to them for being cool as shit.
Oh my god, yeah. There's this one Indian dude. Like, I worked at it was like a donut shop, but they sold cigarettes and like blunts and shit in there too. But like we'd go in there and try to get cigarettes. He knew we were like 15, 16. Like he's like, you're not 18. Like, what's the problem? You want to get a bag of cigarettes? And it was like $5 and like $4.50, $5. He's like $8. I'll sell it to you. Like, here's the age. Shut the fuck up. Give me the cigarette.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Give me a donut too.
It was his risk. He needed to double down on that payment.
I gotta make that fucking $3 gonna save his life.
You can't knock the hustle though. You can't knock the hustle.
So it's good. I mean, you guys said you got some plans for some shows. I know you're doing the fucking Bulldoze show. You just had the one down Power of Fear, their first show. That was that your release?
Yeah, that was our release show. That was our release show. Fool's Game, Power of Fear, Delusion.
Such a good lineup, man.
Yeah, it was wild, man. Chains of Misery too. I don't want to forget about them. But yeah, it was great, man. The turnout was wild. And we didn't know really what to expect. We haven't like headlined the show or anything. I mean, it was our 8th show. So like we weren't really like, we didn't know. We hoped people were going to come out, and they did. And, it was just like, honestly, it was just a great feeling. It was a great feeling to see that many motherfuckers out. There was a lot of fests and other shit going on. Like there was a fest in New York. There was a fest out by you. So it was like, we didn't know what the turnout was going to be. And it was really, really cool. So it turned out to be a great show. We also got another show, great band coming out of the West Coast. Out of Pocket is coming through. They're playing, it's at Salty's in Belmar. So yeah, we're playing that. That's in July. And then we got some other stuff too that's going to get announced soon. So
hell yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know, you guys I don't know if I just caught on. You guys picked up some fucking momentum, and it's good to see active, smaller bands, like grow and do what they can. And I'm still sad as fuck, man. That couldn't work out in September. You guys are about to come out here, and they got all fucked up.
That shit would have went well. But hey, listen, it is what it is.
Yeah,
it wasn't right this time. It'll be right at some point.
You know what I mean? Oh, no, it's gonna happen. We're gonna get you guys.
We'll get out there. We'll get out there.
Fury 5's coming in fucking November. They're finally.
I saw that.
It's their first time ever, dude. I didn't know that. Because I know they were around like the 90s and shit too. So I didn't know if they'd ever come out here until I seen that little fun fact. That's their first time in Detroit. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, we love you out here. I'm so surprised that never happened, man.
Yeah, I was excited about that. I was with them on Sunday because we were rehearsing. I'm actually going to be on stage with them at Biohazard at Irving Plaza. So they got me doing Taking Respect. So
shit,
it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Like life is just wild, and I'm just super, super thankful for everything. Those guys, Stickman's he puts on so much for Bayway. It's so cool. It's just like, I just hope to do them dudes proud. That's all I'm trying to do.
I think you are, man. You got to keep it fucking Jersey style, and that is 100% through and through. It's quite obvious, man. I love it.
No doubt. That's all I could be is me, man. That's all I could be is me. I don't know what else I could do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what else I could do.
No, it's obvious, man. You're fucking awesome. So you said you didn't start this until like, was like in the middle of the pandemic or after the pandemic you wanted to get this shit going?
This is post-pandemic. Like we had been working on a different band, and like it just didn't feel right. You know what I mean? It just wasn't like, shit just wasn't lining up. It wasn't doing what we wanted it to do. It felt like stagnant. And then like we started writing for this, and it was just like we put together a 5-song, and it like went together really quickly. And it just had a vibe, and I started demoing out the stuff for it. I didn't have like lyrics and shit like that really for a lot of the stuff. So I was just kind of vibing and just whatever came to me, I was putting out there. And that's how a lot of the rap stuff came about. And it felt like what we wanted it to be. It really had that Jersey vibe. We wanted an unapologetically New Jersey band, and that's what we did, and once the demo came out, it was just like started getting hype, and we were pumped on that. And then, once Daze reached out, it was just like, we were kind of off and running.
Cool, man.
Yeah. We were just kind of off and running.
Yeah. You just like, it was like, you just hit the ground and said, fuck it, let's do it. First, well, you said you started writing shit, and whatever came, put the pen to the paper and fucking then just put it on the mic, which is cool, man. Like your gut instinct right away sometimes is, you just got to fucking lay it down and see what happens,
Yeah, I feel like World of Suffering for me, like that record, like I had absolutely, if you were to ask me for the lyrics, I would have to listen to the song and write them down, because it just was like, I just pressed play. I sang the song. I think it was like 2 takes, and that was it. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, that's it. I'm not going back to it. I'm not touching it. It is what it is. That's what
Yeah.
came out.
I don't even want to
You
listen
know what I
to
mean?
it. You know?
Right, exactly. Sometimes it's like hard to listen back. The cool part about it is that I don't think about too much about what's gonna happen. Like I just kind of like blurt the shit out. And then the hard part is when I listen back to it, I'm like, damn, like it's if it's deep, like that song is deep, it's like fuck, like, do I even like want this out? Like, do I want to be that vulnerable? Like, am I okay being that vulnerable?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, fuck it. And then I got to remember the words. That's the cool part too. Is like, I'm listening back. I'm like, okay, I can't fuck this up live. Like I never wrote it down. So I didn't rehearse it. So now I'm like back listening to it, like trying to remember what the fuck I said. So that part is fucking funny as hell. Cause then I'm listening to the demo like 1,000 times, before we record it,
That's
trying
hilarious.
to like remember, trying to remember the spots and everything. So it's crazy. But yeah, I think for people that fucked with the tape and really like Newport sessions, I think they're really gonna fuck with the full length. So that's what's coming next. The test presses are on their way here. I don't know how much I'm supposed to talk about it or not supposed to talk about it. So it's like one of those situations. But the test presses are out. The full length is done. I got some wild features on this one too. It's very New Jersey, and yeah, I think people are going to be excited about it. I think people are going to be excited about it.
Dude, I'm fucking so looking forward to it, man. I'm like, this band's crazy good. Like everyone's fucking, like they're still sleeping on it. They better wake the fuck up, man.
Yeah, I think the full length is good. I think most of people that had any complaints with the tape, the complaint was, I wish I had more. Like I heard that a lot. Like, yo, it's only 3 tracks, man. Like, damn, like you couldn't have given us another, you know what I mean? And,
2
and
more.
like, yeah, right. I'm like, yo, the full length is coming. I promise. You know what I'm saying? We're working on it. But we have a bunch of stuff that's been demoed out too. Like we're trying to really capture the moment. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the stuff that's on the full length was recorded at the same time as the demo. So it's like, I feel like instead of like even giving the band a chance to like evolve or change its sound or whatever, it's like all of this stuff is being recorded at the same time to kind of like really capture the time frame, the vibe of the band right now.
Okay, that's cool, man.
Yeah,
that's
this way
cool.
we can just have as many releases as we can, as we can. Like I want to put out as much music as possible.
Fuck yeah. Yo, that's cool, man. I'm glad you guys are really doing that. Like, especially a full length. A lot of bands these days, there's been a few full lengths over the years, recently, but a lot of the times it's either singles or EPs, which is great and everything, because it could be I've also heard people say that they don't want to do like an LP because like they're afraid there might just be like some like throwaway songs on there that might not be their best. But
Right.
that's cool. Like you said you're doing so much that you've really had time to go over it and hone it in, I suppose. And I don't think you'd put out anything you're not proud of, right?
Nah, absolutely not. Yeah. And the thing about it is like, I totally understand that. I get the perspective, like from a musician standpoint, I get the perspective. Also, it's like a lot of people got short attention spans these days too. So it's like, it's easier to hit them with 4 or 5 songs and then hit them with another 5 songs, like 6 months after, you know what I mean? Then putting it all out as a body of work. I think that, what made sense to me was just like, we were doing a tape. The tape was like sort of like it's exclusively on tape. So now you're going to get some of the songs from the tape. You're going to get those on vinyl plus other songs. You know what I mean? So it's like you're getting different versions, like different, all of it'll come out on a CD eventually. Hell, what I'm saying? So it's like for the collectors and for the people that are like, yo, we want vinyl, yo, we want tape, yo, we want it on CD. It's like, I'm trying to do it for everybody, you know what I mean? Like make everybody happy because everybody got their own thing that they're into. Like there's guys that are just hard body on CDs. They don't give a fuck about anything else, only the CD, like guys you put it out on tape that like people even listen to tapes. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess,
like they buy the fuck out of
them.
Yeah,
so. tapes are fucking, it's cool to have a tape. I feel
tapes are cool, man, especially with the whole, they're doing different varieties and shit, so, and I think it's all about the artwork on tapes these days. I mean, that's what it looks like. That's why I'm attracted. I don't buy them, but when I see them, I just look at the artwork because I already know what's on there. It's fucking probably on the internet already,
Right.
So I just think, especially when it's like a different color tape,
it's a collector's item. It's a collector's item. You know what I mean? It's like if you fuck with hardcore and you're like into it from like, you know, from a collector standpoint, which I feel like a lot of people are, you know, like it's dope to have the tapes. Like I got the Fury tape, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm
Fuck
not
yeah.
going to listen to it, but like I have it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I have it. I'm not letting go of it. Like I want the NJ Bloodline tape if I can get my hands on it. If
Yeah.
somebody's selling it, I would buy it. You know, you know
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I want all those things. Like I'm not gonna put them in a cassette deck in my car, but like I'll sure as fuck put them on the shelf and be
Hell
proud as
yeah.
fuck of them.
And it's also, you know, you actually directly support the artist too,
Right.
you know, rather than, you know, you get free downloads on the Spotify's and whatever shit like that.
And the
But
labels too. And the
yeah,
labels too,
sure,
because without the labels, you know
sure.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly. 100%.
You're not getting any, you know, you're not getting these artists. You're not getting these fests and shit like that. You
Yeah.
know,
Yes, a
you're
lot
not
of,
gonna get it.
honestly, yeah, because a lot of people like, who's in bands, they may not have time to, you know, fucking do a label themselves or even put the music out themselves. Like you record it and send it to whoever, and they'll take care of the rest and really push it for you. Because a lot of people is hardworking fucking people. You know what I'm saying? Like you love the
Yeah, I
music.
mean, not everybody got the means. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, guy, like it's great to have a label where it's like, yeah, we're gonna press this many copies, we're gonna put it out, we're gonna promote it, we're gonna do that. Like that's what's great about Lumpy. I mean, you know what I mean? Like his reach. Like I don't have his reach.
Oh,
You
it's
know what I'm
crazy.
saying? Like
Yeah.
you found out about us because of Lumpy, because of
Mm-hmm.
Daze. You know what I'm saying? Like we could have put the demo out, put it up on Spotify, and like, you know, no one, well, maybe 50 people would have heard it or whatever. But like that's what's awesome about the labels. They have these connections, they have these like, you know, deals with distros and things like that. And then next thing you know, it's like, yo, is the tape in Japan? Like that's
Yeah,
fucking crazy.
exactly.
That's fucking crazy, bro.
That
I'm a
is
kid
crazy.
from Elizabeth with a tape in Japan. Shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? No fucking way.
That's
Like,
crazy as fuck.
nah, you got to just appreciate that kind of shit. You know, like
No,
that's,
it's so
it's
cool.
like, it's surreal, man. It's surreal.
It is, and you know, you're right. It is crazy to see. You know, it could be such a small band or a fucking giant band, but to have anything across the globe, it's just like mind blowing. Like my podcast can reach anybody because it's online. Anybody can get to it. But for like a physical copy to get out there, that's even more crazier. And then have somebody in, I don't know what part of fucking Japan or even Austria and,
Right.
you know, Europe and shit like that. It's like, what the fuck is
Man,
my shit doing, you know, 30,000 miles
I
away?
had a dude hit me up from the UK to buy one of our jerseys. And my fucking head exploded. I'm like, yo, how the fuck do you even know that we exist? And like, also the fact that you want a jersey is so fucking cool to me. Like, he didn't give a fuck. He's like, I'll pay the shipping. I don't give a fuck. Like, hit me with that jersey. I want the jersey. I'm like, yo, that's cool as shit. Like, you know, it's cool as fuck to like. And I said this. I forget who I said it to, but it's cool as fuck that like with hardcore, even with just music in general, like you could make friends with somebody. Like I could go to a show in Germany and if it's a hardcore show, like we start talking about bands, I can make 10, 15 friends easy. You know what I mean? And
Oh,
have a
yeah.
place to stay, have people to drink with, like just all over hardcore. Like that's just the coolest thing to me is that like it's just like it's a universal language,
It is
you know?
crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I know what you're saying. That you can show up in any city as long as you go to the right club. You know, like go to see a show in fucking wherever, somewhere in Texas you've never been, and you know you spark up a conversation, and you got a new friend. You know, you got
That's it.
it's like I'm
That's
gonna
it.
drink with this guy and his boys, and then you're boys for life, literally.
Right.
You
Got
know,
a whole new crew of motherfuckers to hang around with. You know what I'm
it's
saying? Like
crazy.
you didn't know them 5 minutes ago. But you know what I'm saying? Like for some strange reason, they fuck with E-Town Concrete. And you're like, yeah, these are my people.
That's it, man. That's
These are my
cool as
people.
fuck.
I found my people.
Shit. So let me ask you this: how'd you go about, you know, finding your way as a vocalist? Is this something you always wanted to do, or were you like a musician or anything? You know, how'd you?
I always wanted to sing in a band. I never knew if I was going to get the opportunity to do so. Um, I always kind of pushed for it. Back in the day, I used to play drums in his death metal band. And after the song was done, I used to stand up and fucking scream from behind a drum set. Like, you know what I mean? Like the singer, like I was announcing the song, I was getting the crowd hype. And like they used to call me the lead drummer because I would stand up. I'd be like, motherfucker, you know what I mean? Like I was just getting it. And like I always wanted to be, you know, I always wanted to be up front. I just did. You know, I had a lot of fucked up shit happen in my life. I always wanted to have an avenue for that to kind of like have that release. So I started playing guitar as a kid. My first instrument was drums when I was like 5. Then I got into playing guitar. And then after that, like, I played bass for a little while for a couple bands. I've done it all, but like when it came down to doing Bayway, I was just like, I was demoing out my vocals and I was doing shit and they were fucking with it. And then we were like, yo, let's put it out, see if people like it. And then, people just fucked with it. And I appreciate them for it. Cause had people not been fucking with it, like I'm not going to still do it. You know what I mean? But we put out the demo, like people are singing the words and shit. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know what I mean? It's just fucking crazy. Like when I got 6, 7 people like jumping on each other, trying to sing the words, I'm just, it's not even real, man. It's like, you know what I mean? Like I turn around, I look at my guitar player while we're playing. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yo,
like,
that is crazy.
What the fuck? Like, what the fuck is even happening? Why do people give a fuck about what I gotta say? But I'm so happy that they do. I'm so happy that they do.
That's cool as fuck, man. You're real humble about it, and it's cool to hear. Like,
without these people giving a fuck, man. Like, what's the difference?
Yeah,
I'm screaming into the middle of the air like an old man. You know what I mean? So it's great. It's cool as shit to be able to write lyrics that about things that affected me in my childhood and my life. How I came up, and to have people identify with that. And I feel like that's what hardcore did for me. So I'm just trying to give back. Like it gave me a place to like vent my frustration, and I never had a family. I never had a lot of things growing up, and hardcore gave me a lot of that shit. So like, to me, I just want to give back. If somebody hears my shit and they're like, bro, that's how I came up and now I can cope with it because I'm screaming at the top of my lungs with you, or I'm fucking getting it in or whatever. Like I'm in my car and I'm able to like let loose and let go of these feelings. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. I always say before we play Time Heals Nothing, like the songs for people that lost somebody, like, there's no greater pain in life than losing somebody that you love. So, for the 2 minutes and 45 seconds that we're playing Time Heals Nothing, get that feeling out of your system. That's what it's there for. That's what it's there for. Man. Yeah.
Damn, man. That's awesome, man. Good to hear that. I love hardcore. Just you saying all that, just like, it's a place for anybody, with hard times or good times, man. Anybody can relate to what you got to say. And
it's the only place, I've heard people say it before, but it's so fucking true. It's the only place where, you go from being at the back of the room to being in the middle of the room in the crowd, to being in the pylon in the front singing the words, to being the singer. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to get that any place else. Like, anybody could be a hardcore singer. Yeah. That's the coolest part, anybody that's got something to say or wants to do it can get up there and fucking do it. And that's what's great about it.
Yeah. Man, it seems so fucking like tempting and cool. Like to see, I don't play any instruments. I try to play with a guitar here and there, but that just seems like if I can get over the fear of like being on stage in front of people, like that's what I would do is fucking in front of band, which it seems like such a hell of a job. I'd be out of breath and shit. It'd be hard, but
yeah, listen, the thing about it, and I had this conversation with a friend of mine he was fronting, like, I think this is like his first band he's ever fronted. It's a band called Odiame, actually. They're coming out of New Jersey. They're gonna drop a demo on RTF real soon.
Okay.
But yeah, we were talking and I was just like, yo, just be real. Just like say you can only speak to your own experience, right? And get out there and just be real, and the nerves go away. Mm-hmm. As soon as that first note hits and you're in front of everybody, like that's it. You got to do it. There's no way around it, right? So like once you're up there, that's it. It's your beat. Like what you gonna do?
You're alone.
Yeah, like you like, oh shit. Check. Oh, I'm gonna run off the stage now. Fuck it.
Yeah, I'm having a panic attack.
That's it, man. It's over. That panic attack, all of that shit, it's gone. You got to just do it. You know what I mean? So I feel that way. Like before I go on stage, almost every single time I have that nervous energy, and I just let it be a motivator. Like if I didn't have that nervous energy, then to me it would mean that I didn't love it as much. Like I was jaded towards it, and I don't ever want to be in that position. I want to. Like I can only speak from my own personal experience, but like I get nervous right before we play. I have the nerves kick in, and then as soon as that first note hits, it's like, yo, it's go time. This is my time. I got 20 minutes. Let me do it.
No turning back.
Right. That's it.
Damn, that's cool as fuck. No, it's always been like like a bucket list thing, like start a band and front a band, just do the
Just
one
do it.
demo and just do
Do it.
one show just to get it out of the fucking way.
Do it, man. Do it. Start a band. I tell everybody, start a fucking band.
Start a
We need
band
more bands. We need more venues.
for sure, for sure, for sure.
That's what we need. That's the two things we need.
Yeah, it's just like thriving right now. So hopefully everybody can just sort of feed off the momentum and just keep it going at
Great to
this
see it.
level for as long as possible.
It's great to see it. I love it.
Oh, it's
I love
nuts, ain't it?
I love it, man. Reminds me when I was a kid. That's how it was, man. There's a lot of people going to shows, a lot of people enjoying hardcore, buying hardcore, spending their hard-earned money. You know what I mean? Like it's the money is hard to come by these days. It ain't getting any easier. So if somebody works all week and they're gonna come out to your show, like you gotta appreciate that. You gotta appreciate that. That's where they choose to spend their money. They buy my tape, like I appreciate you. I know how hard it is to get $1, man.
Yeah,
So if you're spending it with me, yo, thank you. That's all I gotta say. Thank you, because I know that it is not, you know what I mean? It's a decision. It's a decision. It's a decision.
yeah, fuck yeah, and a lot of people, it's like, and they make their sacrifices to come to shows. Whether it's once or twice a month, it's that fucking outlet, that getaway, and their time, and it's shit time well spent, in my opinion. Come to shows.
I agree. Man. I agree, because there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it.
Nothing. No. Shit's good. You're in fucking New Jersey where it's shit, man. That's crazy. Like Detroit's always been awesome too, but I always look at the East Coast, whether it's, in Pennsylvania, Jersey, New York, all the way up to Boston and fucking Connecticut. It's such like a tight, like huge scene. It's always been.
Yeah.
No, it's just, you guys are fortunate because you got the Midwest, you got Detroit and Chicago. We're just like out here all alone. And you got like 8 states stacked on top of each other over on the East Coast. It's like,
yeah, it's definitely, it's produced some ridiculous music.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it's just crazy because it's like like pressure building diamonds. That's how it feels like, because it's just like, it's like, and I've said this before, but there's no other way to say it. It's like in Jersey, especially, I can only speak to my experience, but like in Jersey, it's like NJ Bloodline, you know what I mean? Bulldoze, Train of Thought, E-Town, Fury of 5. Like, how do you follow that shit up? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? How do you follow that? And if you are going to follow it, like, you got to write some hard ass shit. Like, you can't be coming on no whack shit at all. Like, not even a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're right, because all those people are going to laugh at your shit. Like, it's right.
It's good. Just like, yo, the expectations are extra high. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck and it is.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Because it keeps creating more and more great bands. And there's been a ton that have come out of this area. We're so fucking spoiled. I always say that shit. We're so spoiled. Like, when it came to metalcore, death metal, hardcore, it doesn't matter. All of the extreme music, this area, like New Jersey, New York, spoiled. Just spoiled, rotten.
Fuck yeah.
We've had such cool bands. You know what I'm saying? Like, just such cool bands. Like, how you going to start off with fucking Agnostic Front, move your way into like Madball, and get Bulldoze, E-Town? Like, it's fucking ridiculous what goes on over here. It's
just crazy.
It's really crazy. Just crazy.
Yeah. Shit. Let me ask you this. Were you going to any of the like Hellfest and shit over that way? Did you go to like Hellfest 04, 03, any of those the crazy ones?
Yes, I did. I was at Rexplex Hellfest. And yeah, it was it was every bit as crazy as it's talked about online.
Yeah.
It was the thing about it, I think a lot of people look at it like, yo, I survived it, but for a lot of the kids that were in it at the time, like it was kind of like, I hate to say it, but it was commonplace. Like shit kind of just was that fucking crazy all the time. Like there was a spot called Cricket Club in Jersey where there was like, it was very similar. Like everything you heard about Rexplex, like the bleachers, the this, the that, like that was commonplace. That was like every weekend, like a lot of those memes that came out, like there's a lot of memes that are out now, like, oh, yo, I'm a 13-year-old kid that was getting punched by a 35-year-old dude with 3 felonies. Like, it's a joke, but like, yo, when I came into the scene, I was like in my teens, I was like a little kid. Like everybody was like 286 pounds and had already had like 14 jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like it
yeah.
was, that's how we came up. That's just it. And it was, you know, it was violent, it definitely was, but like there was definitely a family aspect to it. And like there was a lot of people that came up at that time that it was tight knit, and it was family. And it was if you came up during that time, you can always recognize it in other people.
Oh
Like you'll
yeah.
see somebody at the show and you'd be like, oh shit, that motherfucker's from back in the day. You could just tell.
Yeah,
You could just
yeah.
tell,
They seen some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell. You
Yeah.
could tell.
Same in Detroit too. Like it's just whether it's leads recognize the age or I don't know what it is, but you can tell someone who's been around and see some shit. That's how it
No
is. Like
doubt. No doubt. No
like,
doubt.
because they used to be, just say fuck crazy, 35-year-old men when I'm 17, 18, and throwing bar stools at you and, fucking
Yep.
breaking shit and acting fucking wild. And, it's like I'm that 35-year-old, but I'm not like a psychopath, like nobody really is anymore, which is probably better for like the venues and overall health of
Right.
people.
It's just also a different time. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's a
Yeah. It was
different
just fucking
time.
reckless.
Yeah, it's a different time. You know what I'm saying? And like, there's no, like, to me, I always look back on things like people say, oh, this, that. People like to glamorize certain things. You know what I mean? They look back on certain times like, oh, I like that '05 shit. I like the '06 shit. I like, you know what I mean? And it's all a place and time. Like for me, always when I was coming up, I used to watch like the '94 videos, and I used to be like, damn, like there's fucking 2,000 people inside this motherfucker for hardcore. You know what I mean? On a Thursday. Like shit. Like I wish I came up in that. So I think it's just always like that. Like the
Sure.
kids are always going to be like, yo, I wish I was in that. I wish it was like this. People always look at the past as it was different. You know what I mean? And for the people that came up in it, like, you know, there was no better time. Like I'll be honest though, like I don't hate what I'm seeing right now. Like I go to a lot of shows and there's a lot of people coming out, and I just love seeing people coming out. I don't want the scene to die.
No,
Like to
exactly.
me, that's the last thing I want. Like I want people to have that outlet. Like I want kids that are coming up that have the same problems that I had, or just problems in general, to have the ability to go to a show and find friends that are like-minded, like to find to find a voice of reason in a world that's real fucked up. Like we're in a twisted world, like it's nice to have that hardcore world. Like, it puts people on to shit, it puts people on to shit, whether it's like, whether it's just like a coping mechanism, or whether it's just an outlet for you, or whatever it is. Like I just want people to have that. That's
Yeah.
what I had as a kid. So that's what I always want people to have. Like that's what hardcore is to me. That's what hardcore is. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love
I'm
that
right there
aspect
with
of
you.
it.
It's like, for me, it's like finding friends, in like a world where you have none. You go to a hardcore show
Right.
and you're probably going to make a friend because you have something in common. You're fucked up. That's why you're here. And
Right.
that's, it's just like, it's like, when I go to high school, I fucking hate everybody, I want to,
Right. Can't relate.
it necessarily wasn't like super bullied, it was just like, it's like this place sucks. Like I'm like a
Yeah.
societal outcast. Had 2, 3 friends, but we all ended up in the hardcore scene together. Like
Yeah.
whoever
Right.
I was cool with in school. We ended up going to the shows and sort of just like closing off the entire world rather than like the hardcore scene and home life, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's
It's
like,
just like once you get into that world, and you see like what it's really about, and you start hearing the band's messages, and you start hearing like, you know, there's a vibe that can't be described. You know what I mean? It's a home away from home for a lot of people. And to be able to go get it every weekend, and to be able to go out and see these bands, and see like the same people, and to know that like, maybe you are like, it's like the land of the misfit toys. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe you are weird, and maybe you are strange, but in this world, you just like everybody else. You know what I mean? In hardcore, you just like everybody else. Like if you're the black sheep of your family, then guaranteed there's 110 motherfuckers on that show on Saturday. That's the same exact way.
yeah,
And
that's the coolest thing, man.
right, like you're not going to get that many other places. You're just not going to get it like that. And
Yeah,
it's cool
yeah, yeah. And that's cool because I can't tell you, maybe a handful of people hit me up over the past couple of years doing the podcast. Like, like my first show was for Kubla Khan after the pandemic ended, and I seen D Block, that's a Detroit band here, and
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
like, oh, is there any other bands you could recommend? That was my first hardcore show I've ever been to, and then I'll send them like a few bands here and there. Then it's like they'll just come back for more. They're like, oh, I fucking met some friends, and
Got it.
whatever. Or I'm gonna say what's up to you at the show. I'll fucking slap hands, like what's up, and they're just like excited to meet somebody,
That's where it
that
starts,
has
right?
something in common, man. I just wanna,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's where it starts and then it snowballs.
yeah.
You
But the
know,
thing
like
is, I
once you
used to
find
be,
those first 3, 4 bands, then it's like, I
oh
need
yeah,
more. I need
more,
more,
yeah.
more.
Yeah, yeah, but hopefully they'd find a person that will accept them, because sometimes people will shut down. Like I can't tell how many people I ran into. Like you think they're gonna be cool, but they're like, no, they just want nothing to do with you. I'm like, okay, he's not my friend, so
Yeah,
that happens.
that was what was crazy for me is that, like, you know, when I first met Reek, NJ Bloodline, like I didn't even recognize, like I didn't even know how big they were. I just knew that they were rehearsing at this spot. They seemed really cool. And like he was so pumped to get me into other bands and shit like that. It was just the coolest thing. And now, like, years later, like fucking around and like, hanging out with Stickman and like sharing our love of hardcore and the bands that he fucked with when he was coming up and like the acceptance and stuff like that. Like I love that aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? I love the dudes that are just mad humble and just like really want to see it grow, really want to see Jersey grow. Like I'm a Jersey guy, so of course, like for me, like it's the first, it's first and foremost for me. Like I love Jersey. I want to put on every Jersey band. I want every Jersey band to succeed. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's how everybody should be about where they
Hell
come
yeah.
from. Like know your roots. But like I love all those guys that are humble enough to just kind of take you under their wing, show you what the deal is. You know what I'm saying? Put you on to shit. Yo, don't act stupid. Don't act like that. Don't be like that. This is gonna
Right.
get you fucked up. Those are the best guys. You know what I'm saying? They want you to succeed. And I love that aspect. And I'm meeting a lot of that nowadays. I'm encountering a lot of really humble people that are just like genuine, like hardcore fans or just genuinely love the hardcore scene, and I love to see that. And I want more of that, as much of that as I can get my hands on.
Hell
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? That I want that as much as possible.
Full positivity. I love it, man. Yeah, that's a good thing. The more we can grow it, the better off it is.
Better off it's going to be, right, for
Yeah, yeah.
everybody.
For years to come, you just got to keep pushing it, and be welcoming. And that's some people like, oh, we got to gatekeep the fakes. Like, well, they're gonna leave regardless. Like the real ones will stick around, and
Yeah.
which, what, fine, whatever, do what you got to do. But it's just good to see when you see somebody who like keeps coming back. Like you see somebody who somebody might think that they don't fit in, but those people keep showing up, but then eventually they will. And they'll kind of be friends. Like you see people who are like, oh fuck that kid or whatever, but then a year later they're tight, they're best friends because they like whatever, they didn't want to give them the chance. Or
As an old
I've been
as
down
an
that
older
road.
guy, especially like as an older guy in and being in a band, like I just feel like, you know, whenever I see a couple faces that I've never seen before, like, a lot of faces come and go. It's
Mm-hmm.
hardcore, like it's just part of it. A lot of faces come and go. But when you see them and they start coming out, and then like maybe they're at the big show, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden it's like we're not at the big show. We're at the small hardcore show, 50 people coming through to that,
Mm-hmm.
and they're there. You're like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like this motherfucker really fucks with this shit. And then all of a sudden it's every weekend. And then maybe there's 3 shows that weekend and they're at 3 shows. And you're like, oh damn. Like, like to me, I love that kind of shit.
Hell yeah.
Like that's good for the distros, it's good for the shows, it's good for the bands, it's good for everything. So it's like I understand, you know, I understand I understand all sides, but for me as an older guy, seeing it, new kids coming up and stuff like that, like I love to see it. I want to see more of it. You know what I'm saying? And as long as they're there for the same reasons as we all are, like for the community aspect of it, the family aspect of it, and like the love for hardcore, and like all they want to do is just like be there for the bands. Fuck, let them come. You know what I'm
Yeah, high
saying? Let's
fives
go.
and stage dives.
The more the merrier, bro. Let's go. Like it's hardcore. We could use it. Let's go. Come out to a show and tell your friends.
Yeah. That's kind of like a saying like around here where it says, bring a friend, bring somebody new to a show. Like
Bring a
whether it's
friend,
your
right?
younger brother or your fucking nephew, whatever, it doesn't matter. 8, 9, 10 years old,
Get them into
if
it.
it clicks,
Get
it
them into
clicks,
Right. Right. Get them into it.
Yeah. That's
That's the
it,
only
dude.
way we're going to grow the scene. And it's nice to see huge fests like this where a lot of people come out. And it's even nicer to see when there's a show on a Thursday night for a touring band and they're doing 100 people paid. I love that. That's what
It's a
we need.
beautiful thing, man.
That's what we need. We got to put on for the touring bands. Otherwise, they won't tour. Like you got to show up at the venues and you got to pay. Otherwise, the venue doesn't exist. It's part of it. We got to do that. It's part of the community aspect of it. And I love that.
I love it. And speaking of venues, for what was that place you guys had that show at last week or 2 weeks ago? It was some warehouse or some pier, some whatever weird shit. What was that place?
The place is called Lot 13. It was
Okay,
actually
it seemed kind of like mystical. I didn't know what it was all about. I don't know.
Yo, if it looked mystical online, I could tell you in person, it's not mystical at all. It was a quality dive bar establishment.
Okay.
It's a new spot like to do shows at, and like I got put on by my boy Ricky. Was like, yo, we do shows here, like we can work something out. And we were looking for a place to do the release show, and it was like a lot of the venues, a lot of places are booked, so it was kind of on like a tight schedule.
Okay.
So we just wanted to do a show there. It wound up working out great, and it wound up being a great situation. So I don't know, like me personally, I don't put on shows. It's just like I do it. I did it for Bayway. I don't really get involved with too much of the booking and stuff like that because it's just like it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. Like I got a full-time gig. I got Bayway's a full-time gig in itself. So it's like, it's hard to do it. Shout out to anybody that does it, because literally I know how hard it is and how much stress goes into it and all of that shit. It's hard. So like we probably will do shit there though in the future, because it worked out good. It was great for hardcore. They understood hardcore, which was cool.
Yeah.
You don't always have an owner that's like, I
Right.
get it, that people are going to go wild while you play. Like sometimes they're like, why are they fighting? I'm like, they're not. They're expressing themselves in a karate form.
That's it. Yeah. Yo, because what I had like envisioned in my head for some crazy reason when I was thinking about the venue, the lot, whatever you said, I thought it was going to be some like warehouse on like the docks in New Jersey with like ships and like fucking shit all around, like fucking seagulls flying, and then some like locked door, like a red door. It
was 2 blocks from the water. And Bayonne is like, actually, that's really what it's known for. Is like shipbuilding and shit like that. Like
that's what I thought. From like, I don't know. Like, I didn't do any research. That's just what I imagined.
It's crazy. You're right. I mean, like that's what it is. There's a lot of like longshoremen in that area too.
Okay.
Like that's kind of the
damn. My imagination was right.
Nah, for sure. You're on the money. So it just so happened, like it just so happened to work out, and like they had the date, and like I said, they were cool with hardcore, which is like, a lot of people are, I wish more people were, but usually they're like, oh, for insurance reasons or for blah, 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 whatever it is, can't do hardcore here. But they didn't give a fuck. They were like, yo, let's bring it. And then they were pumped at the end of the night because so many people showed up. So it was like, yo, let's do more shows. Jersey just needs more venues, and I'm always looking for more. So anytime you get people to come out on a Friday night or a Saturday night, and you could do good with a bar, like just keep that mentality going, keep that shit going.
Cool, man. And let me ask you, this might be weird. I might be stupid for not knowing this, but how did you come up with the band from Bayway? Like, I have no idea.
Nah. So there's no stupid questions either way. You know what I'm saying? No one's dumber in this conversation than me. I can guarantee.
But good to know. I thought I was pretty fucking dumb.
Nah, you can't take that crown. That one's mine. I'm forever the dumbest motherfucker you will ever know. But like as far as Bayway is concerned, coming up, like there's a section in Elizabeth that's called Bayway. So when I was born and we lived in this section. You know, that was like where my first house was in Bayway. There's a circle, actually, it's called the Bayway Circle. And if you go through it, basically you go through the Bayway Circle and it gives you this downtown area of Elizabeth. And then you move on and you can go over to Goethals Bridge to go in Staten Island. It's kind of like where Staten Island, Linden, and Elizabeth, they all meet there. So there's also the Bayway Refinery. So if you look up the Bayway Refinery, that is like, it was actually on the cover of E-Town's Renaissance.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it's like, it's kind of like it's an Elizabeth staple. Like, you know about the Bayway Refinery. If you hit 1 and 9 in this gritty area of Elizabeth, Bayway Refinery is right over there. So like where Linden and Elizabeth meet is Bayway, essentially. So half the dudes from the band are from Linden and the other half are from Elizabeth. So it just kind of made sense to call the band Bayway. And like my guitar player was like, yo, we're going to call it Bayway. We doing Bayway. He kept like saying it over and over again. And like, I was like, yo, like it just like stuck. Like it makes sense. It's like, for us growing up, it was like, if you know, like if you know about Elizabeth, if you know about Linden, like, you know about the Bayway Refinery, you passed it before and you've seen it. So that's what it was. It was, if you know, and it just made sense. It just made sense.
That's cool, man. You're keeping it. Yeah, if you know, and it's like, I don't know. It just, I thought it was a geographical type thing. Like I was like, it's got to be something with where you grew up. I don't know. It was the Bayway Refinery, but that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's geographical as well, because the reason it's called Bayway is because that's where the bay is.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
There, you know, like that's where all the ships come in and shit like that, and you know, and then the refinery is there, so it's like that's right on the water too. Like it's all. That's why it's Bayway, you know. But man, it's just crazy because it's just like, you know, the name itself is like, it's like not your traditional name for a hardcore band, you know, like it's not.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Right. But I think that's why it works. You know, it's true to who we are. That's why it works.
Yeah.
That's what the band is about in so many ways.
I like it because, like, you know, you got all these the tough guy band names and shit. Like you wouldn't, you know, you just wouldn't think like Bayway would be a hardcore band name. Like you see it, then you see like to the cassette with the Newports. You're like, Bayway, that's interesting. It'll catch your eye, and you see it on like Daze Records. You're like, what the fuck is this? Like, I gotta check it out. You're like, oh shit, you know.
I think that's what's cool about it. It's like E-Town Concrete though didn't have like the normal hardcore name.
Mm-hmm. No,
you know what I mean? Like it's not like Hatebreed. You know what I mean? Like you kind of have an idea, like Cold as Life. You know what you're getting into.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what you're getting into. Like Bayway is sort of like, you know, it's just like it's an if you know type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's nothing wrong with any of it. Like it's just what our name turned out to be.
No, it's good, man. It's original.
A bunch of motherfuckers from Linden and Elizabeth just doing hardcore.
Excuse me, scumbag.
Yeah, shout out.
That's the best part. When I heard that, I was like, ah.
I appreciate you.
I love your guys' shit, man. And I don't know, man. I didn't really have any questions. I just assumed we'd be able to hit it off and have a fucking cool conversation. So
it ain't hard to shoot the shit with a hardcore dude. You
know no, it's like you figure out something, you know.
100%.
Yeah. Fucking. So you said you're working on an LP. You said it's already recording all that shit. Is there any sort of release, you know, in the next like 4, 5, 6 months? You guys
I think it's supposed to come out like early fall.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I think it's supposed to come out early fall. I got Stickman on it. I got Ant from E-Town on it.
There you go.
I don't know if I'm supposed to announce that, but fuck it, I just did.
It's
over now. I've been working with Ant from E-Town on a couple of different things, and you know, I'm blessed, man. Like these were guys I looked up to so much as a kid. So now to be in this position to be able to work with these guys and share the stage with them, and it's crazy. It's crazy. You know what I mean?
That is crazy as fuck. Especially
it's just been, I'm thankful for the opportunities, you know, every time they come across. Like I'm thankful to be able to like be just even in the same conversation with these cats is just crazy. So like, you know,
hey, let me tell you, I was fucking, you know, saying with like Jeff Gunnels, you know, for Cold as Life, I was fucking, I was hanging out with him at the festival that we just had here last week. It's like standing next to him for like an hour, just like shooting the shit. Like I'm not in the same conversation as him as like a person, but just know somebody with such like a high status in the hardcore scene, and just like, oh yes, just my friend. It's really cool just because like you look up to these people for so long, and then they
Yep.
eventually like your it's like your coworkers, you know. You I don't know what
I
to
think
call it,
it's I
but
think it's even cooler when you meet somebody that like you truly fuck with, and then like they just keep giving you more reasons to want to fuck with them.
yeah,
You know, like they're so fucking cool and they're down to earth, and like they just love the shit like you love it. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
it's like
it's crazy.
nothing is fucking nothing better than that. There's just
No,
nothing better than that, you know? And like that, my bad.
you're good.
That aspect of things to me is just it's just crazy, you know,
Yeah,
it's just crazy. And like that's what I think, like, you know, like being able to hang out with the guys from Fury, being able to like do songs with Ant and shit like that is just like it's just crazy. It's just crazy. I spent so
yeah.
many years like just like going over their body of work and just like examining it, loving it, breaking it down, like just listening to every word. And then, you know, to have them fuck with what I'm doing is just like, yo, stop. Like you'd have told little kid version of me like this was gonna be my life, I'd have been like, yeah, fuck you. You know what I mean? Fuck you. That's never gonna
Oh
happen. And here I
no,
am, you know, it's like to be able to do a song with Ant, to be able to be on stage with Stickman, like shut the fuck up.
that's so
Get
crazy,
the fuck
dude.
out of
Yo,
here.
that's crazy. I can't
Yeah.
wait to see Fury 5 in November. It's a long time to
Yo,
wait,
they're gonna
but
put on a fucking show. Let me tell you something. One thing I have seen with being at their rehearsals, like, yo, they take everything seriously. Like everything they do. Like when you see them play, guaranteed they put hours into that performance, bro. Hours. Like they're gonna be one of the tightest bands you've ever seen, and that's fucking. I guarantee it. Whatever you heard on the record, it's gonna sound like that live. It's gonna sound like
yeah.
that live. It's gonna be hard as fuck, and they're gonna bring an energy that it's unmatched, bro. Those guys are wild, man. They are wild.
Hey,
They
man, yeah,
practice like the show. They are not fucking around.
they've earned a reputation, over the
Yeah,
years for
no doubt, no
yeah.
doubt,
So
no doubt.
I can't wait to see a Fury show live. You just hear about a stick man. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna spin around like him, be fucking taking off heads.
Yo, you'll see him do it. He'll bring that shit right out. That boy, that he'll be right in the fucking pit. That motherfucker is crazy as all outdoors. He'll get in that motherfucker and let it rip. He
Oh
don't
my
give
god,
a fuck.
it's gonna be good, bro.
Yeah, man.
Um, I don't know. We can fucking wrap this up here. We're about an hour now. So,
All right.
is there anything you want to say? Shout outs to anybody? Any other
I
things
mean,
that
you
we
know
haven't
what?
talked
Look,
about?
I would say honestly, if there's anything I can say, it's just, you know, shout out RTF Records, shout out Daze, you know, shout out to my bandmates. I love these motherfuckers. Like, you know, they don't got to put up with me, but they do. You know, and they put a lot of hard work in, and you know, hardcore is it's you know, nobody's getting rich off of it. Let's put it like that. So we do a lot of this. It's all for the love of it, you know,
Hell yeah.
and they love it like I love it, and it's great. So just, you know, shout out to the labels that are supporting the band. Shout out to everybody that reposts the flyer and you know what I'm saying, and it comes out to the shows, and we've got a real nice thing going, and I love seeing it blossom into more shit, and it's been great to see the evolution. We played 8 shows so far. Like I can't wait to see where we're at when it's 18, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I'm loving it, man. I'm enjoying the ride, and I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate everybody out in your scene. I appreciate everybody in mine, and I hope to get out to you guys soon and be able to get on a stage and perform. I would love to do it. And you know, look out for that phone lane. It's coming out, man. It's gonna be crazy. I
I
promise you
can't wait
that.
to
There's
hear it, man. Yeah,
more to come after it. More to come after it.
yeah. And I just want to say thank you again, man, for coming on. Hopefully, this conversation will find somebody or somebody will find it, and anything we talked about, could relate to somebody, and they'll be able to hear
Yeah.
your music and shit like that. So I'm gonna try to have it up probably tomorrow or Thursday. or sorry,
Appreciate you.
Wednesday, but it'll be
All
out
right.
this week for sure.
Yeah,
And
man, definitely. Just hit me up and let me know this way I get it reposted and all that for you.
fuck yeah. And once again, thank you and shout out to everybody in your band. Thank you for all the music and Daze Records. Woo! Good times right now. So hopefully we'll just keep it going, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir. I
right, thanks a
appreciate
lot,
you, man.
man. All
Thank
right.
you.